Bournemouth before we get on to the Sanchez soap opera and Arsenal. So they're undefeated in 5 now in all competitions. When you watch them, do they look a bit more settled than earlier in the season? Are there combinations that are now starting to work for Eddie Howe's side? Yeah,
they're better. They've got a better energy about them, and I think that the changing system helped a little bit. They've tried 4 at the back, 3 at the back. Ibe today was the one who impressed me. He played it as part of a front 3. And he was really positive and confident, running off the ball, running with the ball, good decision-making. You know, he went for a lot of money as a young lad, 15 million quid, and he hasn't really hit the heights we expected. It's a nice, positive pass. He gets himself in a good position in the box. But this is what I really like today about him, his hunger. He wants to stay in the team. He's played 6 on the spin now, and he's really fighting for his place, and it looks like the penny's kind of dropped.
You need a run if you're a young player.
You do need a run, yeah, because you can't, especially at a new club. You know, he's like any player when you're young. You've got to establish relationships with other players around you and get your confidence up with the supporters. This is a great bit of skill and a good ball in as well, and only some last-ditch defending stopped them scoring there. But he was positive and his confidence grew in the game. You could see it getting better, and, you know, little nutmegs here, skipping past people. This is the potential we knew he had when he was at Liverpool. And he's getting himself in the final third much better. But Bournemouth deserved it. This wasn't, you know, a lucky win. They constantly went at Arsenal and caused them problems and had better legs, more hunger to win the game. I don't say that lightly either. They really did. I mean, Wilson played brilliantly as well, and he got his just rewards with that's actually his first goal for Bournemouth. But he deserved it, and if he keeps playing like that, it gives him another dimension to that, because King's been missing, who was their top scorer last year.
And if you have a 3 like that, it doesn't leave your front man as isolated as maybe they are when they're on their own, which is obvious.
But more importantly for Ibe is it means that he doesn't have to track full-backs all the way back, because he's got a wing back there and he can go inside and get closer to the goal, and I thought that was evident today.
So Arsene Wenger in our interviews there said that he went into the dressing room and they didn't know where they lost it.
Well, he didn't watch the same game that we were watching, because that's as poor a performance from an Arsenal team with the ball and without the ball that I've seen from for a long time. Everything we described, Liverpool with energy, desire, there was none of that from Arsenal today. With the ball, terrible. Every single Arsenal defender and goalkeeper had such a poor day. It was incredible. Ball giving away there, simple passes. Mustafi, this time on the occasion, give it to Bournemouth. Come and attack us. These aren't difficult passes that you're asking players to complete. And it happened time and time again. Holden, poor pass into Mustafi. Give it simple. I mean, that is 40 yards into the stand when it's a simple 15-yard pass. Chambers, OK, sliced it into the stand over the... These are the other 2 goals. What's the number of defenders around this ball here, the cross? 4 when the ball comes in. Now it's Petr Cech's turn to make a terrible decision. I mean, he's actually 2 yards away from getting this ball. He comes out, it's a poor decision. Wilson, who bullied the defenders today, who was magnificent, gave them a torrid afternoon, got the goal his performance deserved, and this is the worst of the lot, this one. Holden tries to play offside. Just keep your eye on Xhaka. Not for the first time. He looks this season and lets a player run off him. You can't do that. You've got to stick with him. He's looking at Ibe there, so he knows where he is. Now watch the lack of reaction when Ibe starts to run forward. Holden tries to play offside. Foolishly, he's not. It's a brilliant ball in behind. Have a look at Ibe now, how he wanders easily past Xhaka. He's 15 yards from him now, having been in front of him. That is an unacceptable performance, and from a lot of Arsenal players there. Jack Wilshere, I thought, as Danny has mentioned, he was the one highlight. He played very well. Other than that, it's an unacceptable performance from Arsenal Football Club.
No Sanchez, no Ozil. Arsene Wenger said afterwards in the press conference that Sanchez could have gone yesterday. He could go in the next 48 hours. It may be a brutal question, I don't know. But without Sanchez and without Ozil, are they an average team plus Jack Wilshere?
Yeah, and if they're not careful, they'll lose him as well, because he's going to be out of contract. And when he's fit and playing like he is, he's their best midfielder by a mile. He's probably England's best midfielder when he's playing like he is at the moment in the team. And they might lose him as well. So they've got to be very careful, because Sanchez and Ozil are going to go. And I don't understand, after Van Persie went to United and won them the league, and they let Fabregas go, how they keep letting their players get to this situation. The club seems all over the place, like their performances.
For all the great work that Arsene has done for Arsenal financially over the years, a lot of that could be undone in the next 4 or 5 months. How on earth you can let 3 players get to the end of the contract who can leave for nothing? If they get 30 million for Sanchez, they might get that. They're losing 50 or 60, should have sold him a year ago, because the current market value is about £90 million. Ozil, the end of his contract, what's he worth? £50 million?
Yeah.
Jack Wilshere, 20 or 30? You're talking the best part of £150 million you could lose for nothing. So not only are you losing that, you've also got to replace them with another £150 million. So for Arsenal to be in the position they are now, you understand if 1 player gets to the end of the contract, but 3. You look at it, you think, is it mismanagement or is it misplaced loyalty on Arsene Wenger's behalf, thinking that the players might actually change their mind and stay?
A lot of this can feel like Groundhog Day, so you may not be able to answer this. What is the solution to Arsenal's woes?
Well, they need a new manager who's going to change things and create some discipline at that club, because they play with no discipline. And there has to be repercussions for bad performances. And there isn't, from what I'm understanding. And you can't play 1 week well and look like a team that's on the up and then play like they did today, because that was embarrassing. And there's too many of them who don't really care because there aren't any repercussions. And subconsciously, when you play in that environment,
I've asked this before, but for all the criticism Wenger gets, should the criticism also go to the club's hierarchy? Because they are, to all intents and purposes, allowing an employee to decide when he leaves a job. And that doesn't necessarily, well, very rarely happens in any walk of life.
No, absolutely. I couldn't add anything to exactly what you've just said then. I don't think it has ever happened at a football club where a manager decides the contract, the manager decides when it's time to go.
But he's made them millions,
really
that's part of it.
But I go back to my point, what I just said before, that a lot of that could all be undone in between now and the end of the season. If those players leave for nothing.
Remember, #MOTD2 if you want to get in touch. More Premier League football.